We are continuing our celebration of Black History Month.
That's right. Today we are exploring the story of a community legend, Janice Mitchell. I had the opportunity to sit down with her daughter, Jeniece, to learn about her life and legacy. Let's take a look. On a small corner off Main Street in Urbana, Illinois, sits an unassuming brown brick building. This is the home of Urbana Neighborhood Connection Center. It's a youth development facility that is a safe haven for kids in the community that invests in the educational futures of students. This is the legacy of community legend Janice Mitchell. As you walk around the center, you're going to find the numerous accolades that recognize and celebrate Miss Mitchell's life and accomplishments. Miss Mitchell wore many different hats. She was a graduate of the University of Chicago with a Master of Social Work degree. She served in the military as a captain. She was even the usher board president at her church and a professional wedding cake designer, just to name a few of her pursuits. But it was her role as a community advocate and volunteer that took a central place in her life.
She moved up here to Illinois, went to the University of Chicago, and then she met my father, and the rest is history. She came to Champaign-Urbana with Dad, and they started their legacy here. Everything they did together, from the basketball camps to Mom's programs with brothers and sisters. Dad was along for that ride. Sankofa Summer Exposures, Sisters and Me program, UHS Equity, and Social Justice Club, and I could go on and on.
Janice Mitchell passed away on November 15th, 2021. She was 58 years old. Her daughter Jeniece now runs the center and continues her mother's legacy. As we spoke, Jeniece shared her mother's story with me, how she came from humble beginnings in the South, received an education, and spent the rest of her life giving back to the community. I asked what motivated her mother, and Jeniece quoted a scripture that was the foundation behind her mother's generous spirit, Luke 12:48.
Unto whomsoever much is given, of him is also much required. She was very much driven by her faith and very much driven by what she knew to be true, which was that when you make it to the other side of whatever it is that you're battling against, now it's your responsibility to turn around and help the next person coming along behind you.
And Janice Mitchell helped a lot of people. While education was a big part of what she gave back, it was especially important to her that African-American children in the community learned about their history and remembered their heritage.
One of the biggest things for her was making sure that the negative imagery that was out there, all of the things that kids now see on social media, and they hear the music, the different negative projections of who they are. She was very much determined to combat that. Yeah, you're going to see negative things, you're going to hear negative things about yourself, and if you let it, it will embed itself into your mind, and you'll begin to believe that that's all I'm capable of, or I have to be this, or I have to be that. But she knew that there was far more, and she knew that in order for the kids now, and it's going to sound cheesy, but in order for the kids now to be it, they had to see it. So in order for me to aspire to be an educator or scientist or, an engineer, I have to be exposed to those things, but I also have to be exposed to my history and knowing, this is where we've come from. This is the greatness, and this is the resilience that is my people.
Janice Mitchell took community service to the next level. If there was a need, Miss Mitchell showed up and did whatever she could to help.
So one of the things that some people know, but a lot of people don't, is that Mom kept storage units around town, and those storage units were full of furniture, clothes. She had areas where she stored things in pockets that you wouldn't even believe, in buildings, underground, in attics, behind closed doors. When you thought that this was a closet for one thing, it was for something else.
As almost a supply bank to help people with what they needed?
Yes. So You know, mom would give out clothing, school supplies, furniture, hygiene products, hair care products, baby clothes, whatever you needed. She had it somewhere, and if she didn't have it, then she would go get it. She would go and buy it. You know, mom always sought ways to make sure that whatever in that moment a person needed, food, you know, whatever it was that they needed, that she had it readily available for them.
A true community legend, Janice Mitchell was a woman who carried strong conviction. She walked out the principles she believed in. The culmination of her life's work lives on and continues to touch lives through the Urbana Neighborhood Connection Center.
When we're talking about the legacy of Janice Mitchell and what she left behind, you know, I think for one, we're sitting in it. Urbana Neighborhood Connection Center was her baby. You know, she dreamed about this place for, 15 or more years. She talked about it often, that she wanted a youth center in Southeast Urbana, where kids could go and it was affordable and, provided holistic services, academic support, social emotional support, cultural awareness activities, and just opportunities for kids to grow and, be amongst adults that love them and adults that are going to push them in good ways.
So it was really hard to capture in that segment, but that facility is really amazing. It just kept going on and on and on, and the services and opportunities that they provide the kids are incredible.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks for sharing that story with us. If you want to learn more about Janice Mitchell and her legacy organization, the Urbana Neighborhood Connection Center, we'll connect you at our website, ciLiving.tv, after today's show.